Do you like mysteries? To wander through the enigmatic mist of the inexplicable? Great. I'm Murk, and here you'll find what you're looking for. Welcome to my domains. The truth dissolves into the mist.
Beneath the arid sands of the Judean desert lies one of humanity's greatest enigmas. Buried for millennia, hidden from light and time, fragments of parchment would one day challenge everything we thought we knew about faith, language, and human history. They are called the Dead Sea Scrolls, and their story is far from over. Tonight, we descend into the dust of Qumran, into caves carved by nature and sealed by secrecy. Because within those stones rests a question that has haunted archaeologists and theologians for decades: who wrote the scrolls, and why were they hidden? In 1947, two Bedouin shepherds stumbled upon a cave near the Dead Sea. Inside they found jars containing ancient scrolls, wrapped in linen, perfectly preserved by the dry air. What they didn't realize was that their discovery would ignite one of the most profound archaeological mysteries of the 20th century. The scrolls contained texts written in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. Among them were copies of biblical books older than any previously known version. Others contained obscure rituals, prophecies, and fragments of unknown origin, as if they were messages from a forgotten civilization. Scholars estimated that the manuscripts dated back to between the 3rd century BCE and the 1st century CE, a time of political turmoil and religious division in ancient Judea. But that was only the beginning of the enigma. Who had hidden them? The Essenes, a mysterious Jewish sect devoted to purity and isolation, or perhaps rebels fleeing from Roman persecution. Debate raged for decades, dividing historians, theologians, and linguists. But in recent years, something new emerged from the depths of modern technology. Artificial intelligence began to study what human eyes could not see. Using high-resolution scans, AI analyzed every stroke of ink, every fragment of fiber, every imperfection of parchment. It compared handwriting patterns and identified differences invisible to the human eye. What it found was both fascinating and terrifying. Scrolls, once believed to have been written by a small, isolated community, were instead created by multiple scribes, perhaps dozens. The technology revealed distinct handwriting styles that suggested collaboration across distant locations. The implication was staggering. The scrolls might not belong to one sect, but to a much larger cultural and theological network. And that changes everything. If the Dead Sea Scrolls were not the product of a single group, then the story of how they were collected and hidden must be rewritten. Some experts began to speculate that the manuscripts were part of a secret effort to preserve sacred knowledge before the destruction of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. Others suggested that they were stolen, hidden intentionally to protect their contents from imperial forces or religious censorship. But AI didn't stop there. It found something even stranger: anomalies in ink composition and radiation traces that didn't match known regional materials. Some fragments appeared to have been written centuries apart, yet stored together. How could that be possible? Some historians argue that these differences might be due to repairs or later additions, but others believe there is something far deeper at play. Something that challenges our understanding of ancient knowledge transmission. And now, I ask you, viewer, what if the Dead Sea Scrolls were never meant to be found? What if their discovery was a mistake, an accident that opened a window into truths humanity was never supposed to see? The answers may lie in the next revelation that AI uncovered evidence that could rewrite not just religious history, but the story of civilization itself. Because among these ancient fragments, there are whispers of lost books, unknown symbols, and encrypted codes that still defy translation. As we move forward, you will see that technology has not just revived history, it has awakened something that was meant to remain asleep. When artificial intelligence began to decode the Dead Sea Scrolls, it did more than read ancient words. It started to see patterns hidden for thousands of years. What researchers thought were random variations in handwriting turned out to form a complex linguistic web, a network of recurring symbols and phrases connecting distant scrolls. The more data the AI consumed, the more connections it found, links between texts that scholars had considered completely unrelated. Some phrases appeared only once, but their placement followed a strange mathematical rhythm, as if arranged according to an ancient code. A pattern of 3s, 7s, and 12s, sacred numbers in multiple religions, repeating across scrolls stored in separate caves. Coincidence or design? One particular fragment caught the world's attention. It contained a passage that had never been seen before, describing the watchers of the deep and the return of those from the fire. For decades, translators dismissed it as symbolic or apocalyptic imagery. But when AI analyzed the syntax, it revealed something disturbing. The text had layers of meaning encoded within the grammar itself, like a hidden cipher embedded in the language. Each shift in tense, each repeated word, was not arbitrary. It followed the structure of encryption used in early esoteric writings. It was as if the scrolls were not merely texts of faith, but containers of forbidden knowledge, written in a way that only certain initiates could ever understand. And then came the most unsettling revelation. A team of AI researchers from the University of Groningen fed thousands of ancient Hebrew and Aramaic texts into a neural network trained to identify authorship. The algorithm concluded that some of the scrolls could not have been written by human hands alone. The strokes, pressure points, and rhythm of writing were too perfect, too consistent, as though the scribe had never tired, never hesitated. How could a human being write like that? Some experts dismissed it as coincidence, a result of stylized script. Others whispered a different theory, that perhaps ancient scribes used mechanical tools, long before the concept of automation was even imagined. A few dared to suggest something even more unthinkable, that the scrolls might not all belong to our own timeline, because among the fragments there are anomalies, fibers that appear slightly younger or older than the parchment around them, ink with unknown molecular structures, and traces of radiation inconsistent with anything from the era. As if parts of the scrolls had been rewritten, tampered with, or transferred from another place or another time. And here is where the mystery deepens. In 2021, AI scanning revealed faded symbols invisible to the human eye, markings written beneath the text as if the parchment had been reused multiple times. These faint lines form maps, astrological charts, and diagrams that resemble early technological schematics. Yet, according to historical records, such knowledge shouldn't have existed in that region at that time. So the question becomes, what were the authors trying to hide or preserve? Some scholars argue the scrolls were never meant for religious preservation, but for survival, an attempt to encode science, astronomy, or ancient philosophy within sacred language. Others think they are evidence of knowledge passed down from civilizations that predate recorded history, knowledge that was buried deliberately before humanity was ready to comprehend it. But perhaps the most chilling thought is this: AI, by trying to read what was hidden, may be reopening doors that were sealed for a reason, because every revelation seems to come with a price. Researchers report strange electronic interference when scanning certain fragments, corrupted data files that replicate themselves, and sound frequencies detected in the recordings that have no logical explanation. And while science seeks answers, the shadows of belief linger. Some say the scrolls contain prophecies of events that have already come true, wars, plagues, and celestial signs that match descriptions within their cryptic verses. You, watching this now, might wonder, are we truly decoding history, or are we awakening something ancient, something that was meant to stay buried? In the end, the Dead Sea Scrolls remain silent witnesses, their words frozen between the sacred and the forbidden. Artificial intelligence may bring us closer to the truth, but perhaps the real mystery is not in what the scrolls say, but in what they refuse to reveal. As we step away from the caves of Qumran, one thing becomes clear: some secrets do not fade with time, they wait. And maybe, just maybe, they are waiting for us.
Did you like this mystery? And what is your theory? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed it, then like and share. I'm Murk, and I'll be waiting for you in the next mystery.